Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Mighty Stream. I want to get right into your spiritual principle a day in a meditation for August the 30th. Let's go ahead and get into that. I hope you're doing good this morning. I'm doing excellent. The title of the meditation, The Value of Honest Self-Assessment. You know what? I remember doing this one last year. Man. Okay. Let's go. Honest self assessment is one of the keys to our new way of life. That comes from the basic text, chapter 4, step 4. As we begin to work on the fourth step for the first time, it's highly likely we already have an opinion about it. Chances are that it's not very positive. Most of the words of this step are daunting in their own right: searching, fearless, moral, inventory, ourselves. That last one is the core of it. We will be getting to know ourselves honestly, something that most of us have had limited experience doing prior to getting clean. Isn't that who we ran from for so long? By the time we get to step 4, we're already practicing some self honesty. We've admitted that we are powerless over our addiction and that we need help. The next step is to learn that we're holding on to learn what we're holding on to that is keeping us from progressing in our lives. We identify our resentments toward other people, institutions, and ourselves. We look for our guilt and shame, our fears, our sexual and relationship behaviors, abuses we've suffered and wrought upon others, and our secrets. Working step 4 also provides another, perhaps unexpected gift, revealing our assets. For many of this, for many of us, this is the most difficult part. We just talked about that, right, guys? We tend to be far more comfortable obsessing about what's wrong with us than owning our positive qualities. But our inventory is inclusive of our whole selves. Assessing our assets is absolutely critical to our new way of life. We need to know what we have that we want more of, not just the negative aspects we want to rid ourselves of. Our honest and courageous self assessment doesn't end with step 4 or with step 10. That helps us to make this process a consistent practice. Beyond what happened during our using days, we continue to look at the patterns and behaviors that follow us into recovery. We learn to differentiate what's really true about us now from what our head tells us. Through this work, we develop trust in ourselves and in this new way of life. Our past instructor, our past instructor. They do not define us and they no longer control us. That was a mouthful. No matter what, I am in the steps. I'm committed to looking at myself as honestly and completely as possible. I have the fearlessness I need to examine the parts of myself I want to cultivate and those I strive to diminish. Let's take a moment of silence, followed by the we version of the Serenity Prayer. Moment of silence now, please. Thank you, God. Grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Just for today, please and thank you. How powerful is that? The value of honest self-assessment. And it goes back to that just for today, right? It's not just the liabilities. It's not just that. It's not just the step 4 and our step 10 and making all these prompt amends. And it's not just that negative stuff that seems to surface more readily. It's the positive stuff too. And if we're being honest, we have to consider it. We talk about honesty and self-honesty and the fact that we admitted that we were powerless over our disease of addiction and that our lives had become unmanageable. We talk about having come to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity and turning our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood them. We talk about all of that, but we don't stop there. And when you go into your fourth step, that fearless, moral, searching, all those words can be daunting, but that's not their whole intent. The key word is ourselves. Me, myself, and I. All of me, myself, and I. All. And that's what I want you to focus on today. All of you, the good, those assets of yours that you're very humble about. And try not to draw light. Let me tell you a little story before I let you go. I have somewhere to be at 9, and I'm gonna make it, but let me share this with you really quick. Sometimes it was easier for me not to highlight my assets because if I didn't draw attention to them, I wouldn't have to worry about anyone holding me to them. Does that make sense? Right? If I didn't tell you how great of an orator I actually was and could recite things, there was no reason for you to expect me to ever do good in it or expect me or want for me to actually come to your event and orate or recite poetry. The less I talk about it, the better off, actually, because no one had any expectation for me to bring those assets to the table, which is also manipulating, right? And so let's just be 100% honest and remember that we all have gifts and we all have parts of us that we consider less than gifted. But why not enjoy the beauty of all of who you are? That's what I want for you today. My name is Mighty Stream. I've enjoyed talking to you, and I look forward to talking to you tomorrow. Have a beautiful day on purpose. I intend to.